Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and smizmars. How you going, guys? It's your boy Whitey here with a little bit of Magic the Gathering Arena. We're going to jump right into it in just regular play. Keep it casual for now as we play. Is it good? And the question is it good in ranked? I've actually done quite well with it in just regular old play, but we're going to see how we do up in the Plat League of Standard Ranked. What this deck is, it's really red heavy. The blue is just there as a bit of a support color. Mostly relies on like Runaway Steam-Kin and then repeatedly risk factoring the opponent's face. Usually that works pretty well, and I forced some pretty early concessions out of opponents, even when they're at like 9 life, just because I don't know, they give up early, especially in this mode. Where the stakes are as low can be, lower than, I don't know, Jamaican Limbo or Hermes Conrad's lowest low record of lowness. Anyway, this starting hand not great with a couple of Guild Gates. I really prefer untapped lands. I've also got 2 Crackling Drakes. Oh my gosh. Well, Temple of Epiphany, give it a little look-see, peek at the top of the library. I've already got one of those in hand, and I'm probably not going to cast it anytime soon, so I'll ship that away and pass it in to my opponent. He's sitting on a Twilight Panther, not terribly scary yet. Another cat. Cat Tribal. Interesting. I think I saved the shock for his little companion over here, Kahira the Orphan Guard. Now, you know, this card does say you're going to have cats or nightmares, elementals, dinosaurs, or beasts. So the fact that he's got all cats so far is a little interesting. I feel like he's kind of limiting himself more than he has to, especially considering I don't think there are any other cat boosting cards in Standard right now. Best you could do would maybe, I don't know, be like a Johnny's Pride Mate or something. That's probably the strongest cat out there aside from Kahira here. But then again, with only these creature types, I'm not sure how useful all the life gain mechanics would be. Oh, alright. Huntmaster Liger, that's a pretty beefy cat. And no blocks for me, thanks. I'll just take the damage, no harm, no foul. I mean, a little bit of harm, but I'm alright with it. Runaway Steam-Kin hopping on in there to join his buddy. I'll swing in with the first one and go ahead and light up the stage. I don't know. Yeah, why not? Make them both a little bigger. Give him a window where he can play Kahira. He might not play it if he knows I've got the shock open. But who knows? Well, I play one of 2 islands. I keep meaning to thin out the number of islands in this deck and replace them with just more mountains, but haven't really gotten around to it. I've got a lot of decks going on right now, and most of them are kind of like this, kind of mediocre. I mean, they do well. Some of them are pretty dang solid, good win ratios, and I'll play those in future videos, but for now, oh my gosh. Alright then, Conclave Tribunal coming down, takes my biggest Steam-Kin. In for another 3, no biggie, still all good here, kind of. I'll just keep loading up the board with creatures. Probably, well, maybe should have played my my Crackling Drake. Anyway, Steam-Kin's nice and large now, ready to pop off some counters to shock something. Get in for 4 while we can. If he blocks with the Panther, I can't pop the counters off without killing the Steam-Kin himself. No blocks, down to 14 is our opponent. Maybe now he'll finally throw in his companion, or not. Well, yeah, I think I shock here, just to prevent the mutate from happening. Kind of throws away the other red mana, but I get 1 counter back, puck the opponent for 1 down to 13, getting us a little more close to them on life. And he just hops in as a regular old Liger, which, I don't know, regular and Liger seem like they shouldn't be used together in a sentence. Assuming he has no pump abilities, I'm just going to go ahead and block there. Yep, that's easy. Nice little soft bounce. I'll gain a life, get up to 13 right alongside my opponent here, and throw in a Crackling Drake. Only a 2-4 for now, pops up the Steam-Kin just a little bit. Not quite big enough to take on that Liger face-to-face. Fire Prophecy, cheaper with the Electromancer in play. The question is, do I do it now and attack with a 4-4? Nah, because then he's definitely not going to block. So, I think what I do, swing in with the 3-3 Steam-Kin. He probably won't block anyway, just because he'll smell that I've got something. Or he will, he doesn't really value his Liger, I suppose. Anyway, fire off the prophecy. Fire the fire prophecy at the Liger. Get a counter on the Steam-Kin so it survives. He takes one from the thing. Electrostatic field here. No need to put the Crackling Drake on the bottom. He'll draw me a card when I cast him next turn. Other Crackling Drake up to a 3/4 now. Finally plays his companion. 4/5. I'll take a hit from it. Not that worried. Does have Vigilance, which is a little more worrying. I could play the Wee Dragonauts, but I really don't think I ought to. I'm going to pop the counters off now just because it dies to the Liger regardless. And this way one comes back on. Not sure why I'm in like full control mode here. Not really any instant speed things I can get up to, but whatever. Draw a card, hopefully not a land. Risk factor, that'll do the trick nicely. I can discard the Dragonauts to it. Dragonauts are not great in this deck. If you get them down on turn 3, they're alright because they do stack up a lot of damage. Chandra's Spitfire I've also considered putting in here, but I've got some card draw spells and stuff, and like Fire Prophecy that aren't necessarily going to hit my opponent for non-combat damage, so it's better to just buff up on any instant and sorcery spell, although this does turn every instant and sorcery spell into non-combat damage. He let me draw 3 cards already. I think I definitely risk factor his face again, maybe even hoping to get another 3, ditch the island so I can cast it from the graveyard with Jumpstart. Anyway, Chandra's Spitfire, not quite as good, I think, as Wee Dragonauts in this deck because I'm not sure that I have 4 electrostatic fields. In fact, I don't think I do. Alright, then play the Mountain, since you let me draw another 3. I'm going to cancel that real quick. Got a lot of cards in hand, so I'm going to Thrill a Possibility, ditch the Wee Dragonauts. Without haste, they're not that great. Sprite Dragon, a far better card later in the game. Maybe even better early in the game as well, I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, Thrill a Possibility, ditched the Mountain or the Dragonauts to draw a couple cards. Throw a Skewer the Critics at his companion, Kahira here. Want to get her or him or he or she or they out of the way. And really hope that goes well for me. I think it will. Takes 1 off the electrostatic field. Back down to a 3/4 is his Huntmaster Liger. Skewer the Critics' face to get that 4th and final. Whoa, this timer is just ticking down relentlessly. I'm feeling quite under... And he concedes. I was going to throw that at his face, make this guy a 4/4. Could have thrown in that a long time ago, but I didn't really find it would be necessary. The couple Crackling Drakes were big enough at that point that lethal would not have been a problem. So that's the deck in action. Taking down a little bit of Cat Tribal and just casual play. See if we get anything juicy here. Glass Casket, not bad. Anyhow, let's check out the deck. And maybe make a little bit of a change. Is it good? The question we have yet to answer. Anyway, let's take a look-see, shall we? Go into horizontal mode, give it a little bit of look. I've got 4 Crackling Drake, couple Wee Dragonauts. I might pop them out. 4 light up the stage, obviously, 4 Skewer the Critics, 4 Shock, couple electrostatic fields. Maybe I could go up to 3, especially if I popped a Dragonaut out of there. 4 Steam-Kin, 2 Electromancer because they're good but not exactly necessary, given that this and this are both just 1 red. Anyway, if I get the Spectacle, this always 1 red. Thrill the Possibility as a 4 of, couple Fire Prophecy. No Cathartic Reunion. I got 1 Fire Mind's Research in here. It's kind of helpful. If you drop it on turn 2, it can be pretty powerful, especially with the pop 5 counters off to deal 5 damage. That's pretty handy at times. 4 Crackling Drake, like I said, pretty good for the higher end. 7 Island, a lot of dual lands, and 10 Mountain. I've got 24 in here. I could probably go less, especially considering I've got things like Fire Prophecy and Thrill to try and find my mana faster. Anyhow, I'm going to pop it back to vertical mode really quick and dish out a few islands. I'll just go down 2 for now in favor of a couple mountains and call it done. Oh, I could click Apply Styles, I guess. That's what would make my Sprite Dragon's Dorat the perfect pet. But who's got time for that right now? We're in the middle of the best video on YouTube as far as I'm concerned. And finally, we will answer the age-old question, is it good in Standard Ranked? Hopefully it is. If not, no biggie. I'm not too concerned. I'm not trying to go for what is it, Platinum, then Diamond, then is it like Mythic or something? Whatever the highest rank is, I'm not really concerned about hitting that. We Dragonauts in the opening hand, better than drawing them later in the game. Start things off with a Mountain so I can hold up a Shock if I need it. He's got no companion over here, and I've got 2 Islands in hand. Not ideal. Even after popping out this couple, I'll just pass the turn back to him. Even after popping out this couple, still seeing them in bulk. Coming in mass, these islands just will not give up. Sure, they're essential to the deck, but I don't really need many of them at all. As long as I have 2 blue sources, as far as I'm concerned, that's fine by me. Pops out the general something or other covered up by Thriller Possibility right now as I draw a couple cards, ditching one of the islands. Having 2 blue sources is good later in the game, but not absolutely essential just yet. Anyhow, it is helpful being on the play here, makes the wee Dragonauts just that much better. 1/3 can bounce off the General's Enforcer here, which is only a 2/3. Gives us a legendary Humans Indestructible, which isn't ideal for me considering I have a lot of burn spells. That is legendary, but far from human, so I can shock that right away. And if I get in with the Dragonauts, then I can skewer the critics that guy. First things first, though, let's start off with a Steam-Kin so it can start getting a little bigger here and there. And I think I shock Lurrus this turn and just don't worry about skewering that guy. It would have been nice to, but okay, and he just concedes. I guess that Lurrus was pretty essential. Wow, that was a really early concession, especially considering we are now actually playing ranked matches. Auto tap feature kind of done me dirty there by tapping 2 mountains instead of a mountain and an island for my Steam-Kin. I figured, I don't know, it always like tells me the auto tap feature has changed sometimes, or the auto pay feature or whatever when I'm trying to like catch something with Convoke. And I figured that meant maybe it would be like, oh, you've got a lot of red cards in your hand, better leave up red mana instead of blue mana, because you don't have any blue things to cast. But whatever, I left up multiple colors, which is what it used to do, and what it seems to do more often than not now. I've really got to get better at just checking what it's going to auto-pay, and then if I don't like what it's going to be, I'll pay myself. But it takes that much longer to do, and it's such a hassle. First world problems, am I right, guys? Anyway. So we wait for our opponent to pick. I'll just go ahead and plug the usual drop a sub, and I don't mean the sandwich. Comment any changes you'd make to the deck now that you've seen the deck list. You kind of heard what I have to say about it as well. If you run a deck like this, let me know. Let me know what works, what doesn't. Hopefully some of you out there have, played around with a concept at least a little bit like this, just kind of firing off loads and loads of instant and sorceries. I mean, there are plenty of decks out there like it. This one, a little more